iba't yung nuptials live here at the social hall of Ilocos Norte Agricultural College. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we will be witnessing a matrimonial union of two hearts who have promised to share their love, affection, and trust to one another. But before we proceed to the parts of the wedding ceremony, I would like to acknowledge first some important individuals in this wedding ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, the members of the principal sponsors, or in the vernacular, we call them the ninongs and the inacs. So let's begin with Honorable Mayor and Mrs. Oscar D. Aguinaldo and Engineer and Mrs. Peter Mensch. Marching towards the stage, ladies and gentlemen, are the beloved significant other of Honorable Mayor Oscar D. Aguinaldo, Madam Victoria Peralta Aguinaldo, and the representative of Engineer Peter Mensch, Madam Priscilla Mensch. Next, we have Honorable and Mrs. Melchor Asho. We also have Pastor Delmer Catalan. We also have Mr. Cesar L. Mananan, the school principal of Ilocos Norte Agricultural College. Mrs. Tessie Guno is also one of the principal sponsors. Mrs. Nelia Garcia, Mrs. Esther G. Yuhesho, Ms. Tessie Sonio, Mrs. Rosie B. Angera, Barangay Captain and Mrs. Genaro Lagaso, Ms. Eufrina Sampayan. We also have Engineer Welcome Ratuita, Mr. Eddie Lagasca, Mr. and Mrs. Samuel Ravalos, Ms. Gloria Salud. Also one of the principal sponsors is Mr. Valentino Cariaga. We also have Mr. and Mrs. Andres Cardona, Ms. Emma Simato, we also have Honorable Vice Mayor Felix Peter D. Aguinaldo Jr. We also have Mr. and Mrs. Romeo Babilonia, Honorable and Mrs. Jose Douglas Pilar Jr. Honorable ABC President Crisanto Albano, Mr. and Mrs. Rodelio Lopez, Mr. and Mrs. Santos Gardoque, Mr. and Mrs. VJ Singhal, Mr. Jonathan Aguda, Barangay Captain Robert Aguinaldo, Mr. and Mrs. Rolando P. Tegavilla, the parents of the groom. I believe, guys, they deserve a big round of applause. Thank you so much. We also have the parents of the bride, Mr. Jimmy Batuyong and Miss Tessie A. Alcantara. we welcome you with our best wishes. We would also like to say congratulations